It's a bombshell morning for the UK economy and an even bigger disaster for Keir Starmer and Rachel Reeves. The Office for National Statistics has dropped shocking GDP figures, revealing that Britain's economy shrank by 0.1% in October. Yes, folks, the numbers are in, and the contraction couldn't have come at a worse time for Labour's fiscal agenda. After months of promises about economic recovery and growth, the harsh reality is now staring them in the face, and as the nation inches closer to a recession, Reeves's economic vision is crumbling under intense scrutiny. The backlash was immediate, with Shadow Chancellor Mel Stride delivering a fiery critique of Labour's leadership.
Clearly, I think we are all agreed on the fact that deterrence has to be right at the centre of any policy, and the National Crime Agency and others have made it very clear that that's the case. If you don't have deterrence there, as we had with Rwanda, and as our new policy going forward will most certainly have, then I'm afraid you're not going to get on top of this issue, which is what we are seeing in the early stages with this government, where, as you say, we've already had a record number coming over in the last 5 months that the government has been in power.
But on the flip side, Mel, Labour seems to be doing a better job than the Tories ever did of deporting people who shouldn't be here. I think it's something like 10,000 since they took power. So they do seem to be making progress on that front where you weren't.
Anyway, this Labour candidate is now...
Well, no, what this government actually now is doing is beginning to... We actually shut a large number of hotels that were actually housing migrants because of the expense of doing that. What you're seeing under this government is that going into reverse, which is not what I think most people want to see. Look, at the end of the day, this government has got to get a grip, and we're seeing this right across the piece, not just with small boats where the numbers have been going up, as we've discussed, but also on the economy, where these additional taxation is now, according to the Office for Budget Responsibility, going to lead to higher unemployment, higher inflation we're going to be seeing, higher interest rates, lower wages. These are the kind of issues that this government has really got to get a grip on. And I'm afraid at the moment they're simply not doing that.
And there you have it. Reeves and Starmer are now scrambling to defend policies that many believe are dragging the UK economy into dangerous territory. The latest GDP contraction has shocked economists, especially since projections for October had forecast a modest 0.1% growth. To make matters worse, the September figures had shown a slight but positive uptick, giving some hope that the UK might stabilise. But this morning's announcement has thrown those hopes into chaos. Let's be clear, 2 consecutive quarters of negative growth officially spell recession, and with the economy faltering, the dreaded R word is now firmly on the table. Rachel Reeves's response was measured but defensive, insisting that Labour's long-term policies would pay off. She touted initiatives like the £70 billion National Wealth Fund, a 10-year infrastructure strategy, and pension megafunds designed to boost British businesses and green energy. But her critics were quick to pounce, accusing her of ignoring short-term economic pain and relying on measures that are years away from bearing fruit. Mel Stride didn't hold back, blaming Reeves's tax-heavy budget for stifling growth. He pointed to Labour's controversial national insurance hikes and the removal of inheritance tax relief as key factors squeezing businesses. His assessment was blunt. Labour was left the fastest-growing economy in the G7, but their reckless policies have brought us to the brink of recession. Families will pay the price through higher taxes, fewer jobs, and rising costs. And it's not just Stride raising the alarm. Hayley Lowe, an economist with the National Institute of Economic and Social Research, offered a grim analysis of Labour's recent decisions. She highlighted how falling production in key sectors, like machinery, pharmaceuticals and chemicals, has dragged the economy down. Even industries like retail and hospitality, which typically rebound during holiday seasons, showed worrying declines. This economic slump is compounded by Labour's growing credibility problem. Just last week, Starmer quietly revised his flagship promise to make Britain the fastest-growing economy in the G7. Once touted as a cornerstone of Labour's manifesto, it's now been watered down to an aim. The shift hasn't gone unnoticed, and critics are accusing Labour of retreating from ambitious goals in the face of poor performance. Liz McKeown, Director of Economic Statistics at the ONS, painted a sobering picture of Britain's economic health. While some sectors like telecoms and logistics showed marginal growth, they were far outweighed by declines in oil and gas extraction, pubs, and restaurants. The balance, she explained, is tipping in the wrong direction. The economy contracted slightly in October, reflecting broader challenges in production and construction. Even sectors that performed well earlier this year are now slowing. Meanwhile, backlash from the business community is growing louder. Reeves's decision to hike taxes for employers and scrap inheritance tax relief has sparked outrage among industry leaders. Many argue that these measures, while aimed at boosting public revenue, are actively stifling growth and reducing investment. As one anonymous business leader told GB News, "How are we supposed to invest in the UK when the government keeps moving the goalposts? These tax hikes are killing confidence. It's no wonder we're seeing negative growth." The stakes couldn't be higher for Labour. With a general election potentially on the horizon, the party is under immense pressure to prove it can steer the economy back to stability. But with today's GDP figures, that task has become even more daunting. The public, already grappling with rising prices and stagnant wages, is unlikely to be forgiving if the economy continues to slide. Adding fuel to the fire, rumours are swirling about tensions within Labour's own ranks. Some MPs are reportedly concerned that Starmer's leadership lacks the bold vision needed to address the crisis. Others are questioning whether Reeves's focus on long-term investments, like infrastructure and green energy, is distracting from the immediate need to stabilise the economy. And yet, amidst all this turmoil, another story is capturing attention in political circles: Nigel Farage's Reform UK Party. The announcement that property billionaire Nick Candy has joined as treasurer and pledged a seven-figure donation has raised eyebrows. But the real intrigue lies with Elon Musk. Aaron Banks, a longtime ally of Farage, hinted in a recent interview that the world's richest man might be open to financially supporting Reform UK. While Banks was careful not to confirm anything concrete, his comments have ignited speculation about whether Musk could play a role in reshaping Britain's political landscape. Farage, never one to shy away from bold claims, declared Reform's mission to bring the Conservative Party to its knees and build a winning coalition to challenge the status quo. Musk, for his part, has already expressed interest, responding to Farage's social media posts about upcoming elections. It's a tantalising subplot in an already dramatic political season. Could Musk's involvement bring new energy to Farage's campaign, or is this just another PR stunt designed to grab headlines? Whatever the case, one thing is certain: British politics is entering uncharted territory. Back to the economy, the broader implications of today's GDP figures are clear. A shrinking economy not only threatens Labour's reputation, but also risks derailing the fragile recovery many had hoped for. Inflation remains stubbornly high, interest rates are biting, and consumer confidence is low. For ordinary Britons, the combination of these factors means a difficult winter ahead. Rachel Reeves and Keir Starmer may insist they have a plan, but as today's numbers show, time is running out. The public will want answers, and soon. Whether Labour can deliver remains to be seen, but one thing's for sure: the road ahead is going to be anything but smooth. If you want more updates on this explosive story and all the twists in UK politics, hit that subscribe button, smash the like icon, and stay tuned, because this economic saga is just beginning. Britain's future hangs in the balance, and we're bringing you every scandalous detail.